We're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. Welcome to the Wingmen Show. I'm Drew Brown. We're here to inspire, entertain, and learn so we can all grow. Happiness and serenity are the keys. To you, my friend, my wingman, my main man, I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Paul Thompson. Hey, Paul.
Good morning, Mr. Drew. Ladies and gentlemen, you've just heard from the one and only Drew Brown, Dark Gable, the American Dream. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He's the pilot's pilot, the role model's role model, and most importantly, his royal fullness. Thank you for listening to the podcast, looking at the podcast. And if you could, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. We would appreciate it. I'm doing very good this morning, Mr. Drew. How are you?
I'm doing great. You ready to start this show?
I'm ready.
All right, well, check this out. This morning, Paul, when I was taking a shower, getting ready for the show, a lot of things went through my mind. And one of them was, I love listening to music in the morning, really loud music. And I got these two bad Bose speakers. They're the Resolves, and I put them both in the shower. And I was just jamming, and I put on my music. And my music is a combination of rap, funk, rock and roll. And that's because I've been blessed by being multicultural. I grew up around white Jewish kids. I grew up around Black kids in Harlem. I have adopted both. And I was just thinking how lucky I was that instead of just knowing bluegrass my whole life or just trap music my whole life, I'm able to actually enjoy so many different types of music. And to me, music should make you happy. And the more ways I can find myself happy, the better. So I am so blessed by being multicultural. There's no multiracial. Please stop using that word. There's one race, human race. Get to it. Get to it. My son's a spine surgeon. Once again, he has one set of books. There's no set of books for different melanin. And that's the only difference between people is the way they look. So what do you think about my great, and I was raised this way, Paul. So I didn't learn this. I know there's no black and white.
Well, you can go talk about the music that tickled my fancy right away because I was pretty much the same. And maybe it's the time we came up, there was a whole lot of stuff going on. It wasn't just one kind of music. There's all kinds of stuff. I got exposed to stuff from classical to soul to funk to rock and roll all together. Remember, even in the public schools, I was doing the cello, not very well, but we had a cello and I'd lug it to school. And that was really a good program. Later on, I took violin lessons. I was not very good at all. Not at all. My son was much better at the string instruments. In fact, one of the things that my mother liked at all was he did some kind of a review in high school, and she thought a lot about that. And at the end of the thing, I said to her, "Well, Cameron worked out a lot better than me," and she said, "You didn't work out at all," which was true. It was true. That was true. That was very true. I had no interest, but I did. I liked the guitar. But the thing was that playing in a band, we had like a couple little bands where whether you could play or not, you were in it and you were doing something. We were doing all kinds of stuff. We were doing all kinds of.
The elementary school system in New York, the public school system, I also played a bunch and cost my mother some money, I guess. Remember the recorder? That was the first one. Then I played violin. I didn't like it, so I moved to cello. Then I never played sax, but I think I stayed with trumpet the longest.
Yeah.
But that was exposed to us, and I don't know if they do that anymore. And actually learn how to read notes as little as we did. That's exposing our mind. I'm not sure if they do that anymore. But this is what I really wanted to say. You have a book club because you are a doctor. You're smart. You read a lot. I want to have a music club, and I want to introduce something that I'm going to put down right now. It's called Black Rock, and Black Rock goes as far back as the Bar-Kays. The Bar-Kays had a Black Rock album, and it went and it progressed to where the music that I love, and I think Black Rock actually turned into funk. black rock, funkadelic is some of the baddest rock and roll you can ever hear. And they kind of morphed into funk. So right now, I'd like to turn our listeners onto the Bar Cave's old album. I'll put it up on the screen and introduce you to a group named Funkadelic. And Funkadelic is part of Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton. One thing about George Clinton, he said the two most incredible things I've ever heard. And one of them is funny. And the funny one in his song, somewhere in his song, he said, he's crazier than a sex maniac in a hoe house with a credit card. The next thing that he said was that is very deep, and I'm proud to say this, and I'll put it on the newsletter, is that freedom is being free from the need to be free. All right, so that's enough deepness. Let me tell you some good stuff.
Good.
Beyonce and Jay-Z. And see, I love that I like Johnny Winter and Jay-Z. It's incredible. Great mix. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Anyway, they're doing an ad for Tiffany's, and she's the first Black woman to ever wear this fancy diamond. It's a 128 carat Tiffany diamond. And they're posing, believe it or not, in front of a Tiffany blue, because of their daughter's name, a Tiffany blue painting of Jean-Michel Basquiat, who I'm sure you're very familiar with. I think.
Oh, yeah, I was talking to him this morning.
Yeah. Anyway, you're talking about from rap to riches to, it's an incredible change how society has changed from rap being the worst. And if you look at Jay-Z's hair, it doesn't matter anymore. He's actually changed culture. And his rap music a long time ago was the bomb. I mean, he's getting a lot more different now with Kanye and everything, but sometimes still they're bumping. I love it.
Jay-Z. Well, you know, that diamond, I saw it's like a $30 million diamond or something. You don't get to keep it, though.
Oh, no.
It's weird. Okay.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking like, okay, what's the big deal?
She's the only fourth woman in the world to wear it. Forget being the first Black woman. How about the fourth woman, period, to ever wear the ring? And it was discovered in South Africa in the late 1800s. Okay.
I guess because I don't, you know, unlike you, I don't wear any jewelry. I got a wristwatch, and that's it.
Ooh, I'm gonna tell Kim I wear my wedding band.
I don't wear jewelry. I never have. I don't like it.
That's because you probably getting attacked in the supermarket by all those pretty women who think Dr. Paul, Dr. Paul.
Oh, yeah, right. That's yet to happen. That's yet to happen. Advertising to a different audience. I guess Tiffany wants to broaden their audience and their influencers, so they influence people. But that's pretty expensive. You can spend like $300 to like $3 million for different things.
Correct, Tiffany. Well, we lived in the same city that it was at, and I think she's doing something called Breakfast at Tiffany's. She has a project called Breakfast at Tiffany's. And do you realize that her song was Put a Ring on It? That's what she was talking about, Jay-Z. Put a ring on that.
Yeah. Well, you know, but just my thought is don't have all your net worth around your neck or in your pocket. That may not be a good investment. There are a lot of people that are like that. You know, I heard about the guy that was, you know, the father and son that got mugged at some shopping center in LA, and they lost like $300,000 worth of stuff that they were wearing. Okay. You can do what you want, but I would say, you know, think about investing some of your money instead of wearing all of it. Wait
a minute. It's okay to wear $300,000 worth of jewelry. 100%. I disagree. If you have about 300 million in the bank.
Well, yeah. But if you got 300,
it's got to equal out to what's important in life.
But what if it's all there?
That's what it is.
You got 300 grand and you got 300 grand around your neck.
Remember in the ghetto, they used to have raggy cars with spinners on it, $2,000 wheels on $200 cars.
Yes. You know, flashing lights sometimes.
Yes, that should lead you into this. You told me a story about somebody being nasty. Why don't you talk about this, and maybe I'll have an answer for you at the end of it.
Well, you know, there's no benefit to some things, but sometimes you can get a good thing out of a bad thing. And out of COVID, one of the good things at least a year ago, was the emphasis on what? Wash your hands. Because they didn't know how it was spread. Let's say in the air, touching on surfaces. So wash your hands. That's still good. There's been more emphasis on washing your hands publicly from that than anything that I've seen in the last, near 7 decades. And people were washing their hands more, at least publicly. But I've seen people kind of go back to their old habits and, restrooms, whatever. Nobody's washing anything. And sometimes they're coming out of the bathroom stalls. And they keep on trucking.
That's disgusting.
That's kind of nasty. That's more than kind of nasty. I see that a lot, but you need to be able to do that kind of stuff.
But what were you were going to tell a story about some renters, or you were telling me something. I said, man, that's great for the show.
Oh, well, yeah, I had a rental house a few years ago. I got rid of, but it was time to sell it. So I sold it. But the thing was, needed some repairs. And the repairs were a lot more than I anticipated. But a big part of that repair process was the cleanup. The cleanup was about 4 times what you'd have expected. And it took 4 times as long. Had a crew in there. It's just a little 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. It's not a palace. But it was so nasty as they would go through and take up different things. It was one level after another level after another level. And the house, when I rented it, it was like new. It was newer than my house.
So you're telling me that those projects that I grew up in that had pee in the elevator, at one point, they were beautiful, brand new apartment buildings in Harlem, spanking brand new? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, at one time, yeah. I mean, it's new at one time. You can destroy anything. But anyway, it was so nasty that the construction workers who were doing a lot of the rehab, they were talking to the construction guy after what? Do we have to go back here? It was that nasty. They didn't want. They were like 3/4 done, and the cleanup was the cleanup and the repair were like going in parallel. And the construction workers said, "Do we have to come?" And they got like 3 times as many people to do the cleanup, and it was finally cleaned up and sold it, and it was fine. But those folks had been in there for about 4 years, and you can get pretty nasty in 4 years. And just
they lived in that.
They lived in it. I knew, they were nice, never caused any trouble, but just didn't know, So like I said, education is expensive, but ignorance is more expensive.
No doubt about it. And you will get sick and die from being nasty. Have you ever been in the men's stall? Forget them using a urinal. When they come out of the toilet and don't wash their hands?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I have said something. I have followed them and told them, excuse me, sir, I think you forgot to wash your hands. I swear I have done that. Now, I didn't do it to Shaq. Okay. I ain't lying. Let's be honest. And I didn't do it mean or abruptly. I did it like, oh, you must have been thinking of something else, because there's no way you're that nasty to actually make a number 2 and not wash your hands. So I say all that to get excited, Paul, to tell you the reason. If you look up in the sky, one of those stars is actually a planet, and the planet's name is NASTORIA. And on that planet, they have people who were raised there called nastoids. These people have invaded the earth. Okay, they're a certain type of people. I don't care what you put them in. I've put a lot of people in nice places, even trying to get them to college. I have seen this myself, and we heard this. You could take people out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of people. So I've given people nice things and they've ruined it. But they're nastoids. I feel bad for them. They're a different breed of people. You got to remember, you have to grow up with a nastoid to become a nastoid. This is what you got to be careful of. They're looking for sloppy people. See, that's who they recruit. They don't recruit people who are anally clean. Okay, they can't. My son is anally clean, and his wife, Heather, is their place is immaculate. My friend, Mikey Mouth and Alexa, I mean immaculate. So they don't even try to get in their house. Mm-hmm. They try to go to people who are kind of sloppy, because if you're sloppy, you're on your way to the planet NASTORIA.
Yeah. I think I've seen it. It's seen it shining bright. I've seen it shining bright. And the thing is that there was a phrase you don't hear much, but it was cleanliness is next to godliness. It's not in the Bible, but I think it's in Hebrew. I think it comes from the Hebrew. But a person that put it out was a guy named Francis Bacon, Sir Francis Bacon, who was actually a scientist, maybe like a physician, not to be confused with Nathaniel Bacon. That's Bacon's Rebellion in Virginia. That's a completely different thing, but it's Bacon. But cleanliness next to godliness, and that was something that you should be, even with the Boy Scouts: thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
This is amazing. You said that. First of all, you're so dang smart. It's scary, Paul. I love it.
No, these are random things that come to my head.
Here's a good one. It doesn't matter if you're smart, if you hang out with smart people, because then you benefit from the other smart person. So I benefit from you. But you said a name, and it blows my mind, the name Bacon. So why don't you follow up Bacon with hot dogs? And let's talk about being nastoids. And this is not funny because a lot of people are anally clean outside, but they are nastoids inside. And what you put inside your body will reflect the age that you live to, the type of life that you live, and how you feel and look. Period. PERIOD. Fat people are fat because they eat more food than their body can have. Skinny people are skinny because they don't eat as much food as maybe they should. It's not that hard. But Paul, please give us some real good advice, because this is from science.
Yeah. Well, I read an article saying that eating a hot dog can take 35 minutes or 36 minutes off the end of your life. There are certain things that will shorten your life, and consuming other things will extend your life. Obviously, fruits, vegetables, and grains extend your life. Junk food shortens your life. You don't see a whole lot of, think about it, you don't see a whole lot of elderly, obese people, do you? Yeah, once in a while, but not too much. You don't live that long. Just like 8, 7, and 8 foot people,
Sorry to interrupt. I haven't seen anybody who is 100 years old who is going to be my role model now, who is fat. Not one person I've ever seen a centurion fat. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. So some stuff takes time off your life. They said that eating chicken wings takes like 3 minutes off your life. But eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches adds 33 minutes. So the other day, it was last week, I admit I'd had a taste for some chicken wings. So I had 3 chicken wings. They're pretty good here. And the day before, I made myself a peanut butter and jelly. It was a croissant, but that's close enough. So I had 3, so it's maybe minus 9 minutes plus 33. So I should be good for 24. Which, if the math works, which I know it doesn't. But the thing is, the more junk you eat, the more you mess yourself up.
Pretty simple. And, staying with science, let's stay with that. Let's stay with science. Let's stay with COVID. Let's stay with Delta. Here's a scientific study that you are 29 times more likely to be hospitalized if you don't have a vaccine. 29 times more. And you and I were talking about that, and we were like, man, is that a lot? Is that a lot? If I told you were twice as likely, you would go, what? That's too much. So 29 is beyond that. But guess what? New York's not playing. And I'll tell you what these companies are following. Disney World can't get in without being vaccinated fully. New York City cannot be a student, whether you're in public school, private school, college, without being vaccinated. A lot of universities, Goldman Sachs, no more, because they did just say that it's no more emergency okay for the Pfizer. They've given it full approval.
Yeah, I saw it also, and everyone's doing that. At least the airlines, United Airlines requires it. Air Canada Airlines requires it. It's in Canada. Delta Airlines doesn't require it, but Delta's doing something a little bit different. They don't require you have it, but if you're on their health plan as an employee and you don't have it, they're going to start charging $200 a month. You don't have to do it to offset the losses if you do pick it up. And then another thing, if you get this thing, as I understand, most people, their insurance doesn't cover it. So I don't know what you're going to do, what that bill is going to be, particularly if they're going to give you a shot. I don't know. I don't think it's got robots in it. Nothing's taking charge of me yet, but the shot is free. The health cost, if you don't die, is expensive. You may have to pay for it out of your pocket. If you got a few $100,000 lying around, it's not around your neck. I guess you can use that or cash in the necklace for $300,000 and pay the hospital, or you can get the shot for free, or the shots for free. I think it's kind of crazy, but there you go. So the military, they require it now too. So I don't know what happens if you don't do it. Are they going to kick you out?
You're gone. You're done.
Is that official? Okay.
Yes, you're out. They're not playing around. People don't want to die. We're not dealing with ignorant people anymore. Whole companies, the military is not going to have soldiers and sailors, men and women dying because they were ignorant. They're just not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, you shut down the aircraft.
Money.
Carrier. That's not too cool. Which they did, Theodore Roosevelt last year.
Well, talking about the COVID, let's stay with science because this show is about trying to help people. We have a website, wingmenshow.com. That's MEN. So it's WINGMEN show.com. And we have links there for education, for health, for suicide, for drugs and alcohol. The biggest thing I think you can do for yourself is realize your limitations and then reach out for help. That's being powerful to me. So I want to be powerful to a certain sect of people that I've noticed. And I don't know if it's manly men. I was going to say it was black men, but that's bullshit. Actually, this is cultural of men being men. They don't want people sticking anything up their butt. Mm-hmm. They don't get colonoscopies and they don't get prostate exams. So I'll mix it in with this quick story. I was in New York last weekend when the hurricane came and I had to depart emergency style to get back home. And people don't think that there's a change in the earth because of global warming. And I figured that one out real quick. And the truth is, they know that it's going to affect the earth, but not in their lifetime. And they could care less about the future. So I talked to a very good friend there. I mean, a lifelong friend who is the most intelligent person I know. This is what's wigging me out lately, that smart people are making these dumbass statements and decisions. Anyway, this intelligent man told me he doesn't get colonoscopies because he doesn't want to find out. There is actually some people exactly like that.
There's some people that you used to work with who are like that. I can think of a couple of them that told me that. I don't want to know. That's not good. That's not good. Go do it. It's the colonoscopy. Let's face it, they don't want to go to the doctor, period. They don't want to go for anything, past a certain age. It's not, they don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything. So it's not saying, well, I don't want a colonoscopy. I don't want to see a doctor, period. And this is where your problem is. And if you combine that mentality with eating a lot of garbage, you're slowly poisoning yourself. At least it would be good to someone to tell you, hey, the poison's working. But it's at a point where we can stop it now. Okay. If you do A, B, and C, or you don't get that information and it's like, well, I'm sorry, it's too late. I can give you an example, not a good example, but there's a friend of mine who's no longer here now. In fact, we were in the last squadron together. We were in training together, really in squadron together. And in fact, I was actually scheduled for surgery for an appendix deal. I had to get appendix taken out the same day he was being opened up to see what's going on with him. Which just before that, what happened was basically they opened him up and said stuff was too far gone, and they just closed him back up and started treating him. I had my appendix out, and I went home in 2 days. But he had, an advanced cancer that was just too far gone, which is important. And he was a guy that I remember either saying or having another mutual friend said he didn't want to get a PSA. Now, in his case, it wasn't prostate, it was pancreas. But anyway, his thing was that I'm not used to extremely macho with a capital M. If you saw him, it'd be no doubt. But he said he didn't want to know about that. He said, "Oh, you can't do it." That was a mistake. To me, that was a mistake. Who knows what they'd see? Maybe they see something else on the blood test. Because typically it's maybe digital. A lot of it's a blood test. They do the PSA. Like when you had your megaphone going, you were making a public service announcement. Well, PSA is also stands for prostate specific antigen. And it's a blood test. It's a blood test. That's mostly what it is. And
okay, can I break this down? What happens? It's very simple. First of all, I started when I was 50, I believe, colonoscopies every 5 years. And then they have seen small polyps, which they burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they want me to go. They've suggested 3 to 5 years. So damn near, I want to go every 2 years because I could care less.
Right.
And one of the reasons is, first of all, when I get a colonoscopy, they give me Michael Jackson juice.
Yeah.
Understand that now. And when I get Michael Jackson juice, there's no high involved. But there is a little game I play, and it's how long can I stay up? And I think the record is like 50 seconds, and I'm going for 53. Because the next thing I know, it's over.
It's done.
It's over. And I will tell you a bad story. My last one, I cheated a little bit on the food because you're not supposed to eat anything. So you can actually get your colon totally cleansed. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is the last time I did it, I cheated just a tiny bit. And afterwards, the doctor came to me and he says, we did this. We didn't really see anything bad. Did you have anything to eat? And he said, yeah, because, kind of shit all over me. But next time, try not to cheat. And he walked out. Okay. Do you know what it is to go, boo? I tried to ease my way out of that office. So anyway, there's your colonoscopy. You get Michael Jackson juice. Next, prostate. Okay. We've done it our whole lives because we were in the military. They stick their finger in your butt and they are looking for a lump. Okay. How about this? Prostate cancer. If you get prostate cancer, there's a possibility you do not orgasm anymore. In other words, if you don't go, you don't come. I'm not kidding. You don't go to the doctor, you don't come. It's a very simple thing. But they can stop prostate cancer if they feel a little lump. It is very, very treatable. Mm-hmm. So it's in your head that you don't want somebody sticking their finger up your butt. Now, I will tell you this before Dr. Paul tells you, there are other tests. Yes. But if you haven't ever been, just ask your doctor, what's the best way for me to find out? Mm-hmm. Because if you know the problem, you can fix it. Paul, I'm going to just say this about these people now, because I'm telling you, I don't think you really know what's happening until you're 60, I swear. But what's coming to me is some people don't want to live. I'm sitting here telling you 34 more summons, and people look at me crazy. You're going for 100? Hell yeah. I really want to go for 39 now. Actually, my new role model is that 107-year-old Black woman who testified before Congress about what they did in Oklahoma. Used to be Mickey Mantle, now it's her. But let me just do this, because you did say, what were those letters again?
PSA.
Was it a PSA?
Yeah.
I have a PSA. It doesn't matter if somebody sticks something up your butt, if it saves your life. It is not sexual. I have a PSA. It is not sexual. It's called medical. Stop being a fool. Because if you die, you affect more than just yourself. You have children, you have parents, you have other people who love you. Stop being selfish. That's not being a man by dying early. This has been your PSA from the Wingmen Show.
Yeah. Just go to the doctor and pay the $20 copay and be done with it.
You know why also? So they don't die like this one, because your favorite subject. Didn't you go get a permit the other day?
Oh, yeah. My old permit's expiring soon. So it's a permit. It's a weapons permit. And it's unfortunate that we have to have one. You should have one, but I thought, better have one than not have it. And the renewal process was very simple. I did some stuff online and filled out a paper when I got to the place, and I gave him $30 and I walked out. I think it comes in the mail in about a week or so. But yeah, everybody's got weapons, and I thought I'd have one too, or be able to carry. I don't like to carry them, and I typically don't, because you can get yourself into a lot of trouble if you, depending on your mental state.
You don't know karate, you know karate, don't you?
Oh, crazy. Well, actually, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Karate and karate. That's for old James Brown fans, because those people listen. What are they talking about? It's lyrics of one of his favorite songs. I forgot what it was. Okay.
The Big Payback.
The Big Payback. That was right. The Big Payback. Yeah. So a lot of people are getting paid back. There's shootings all over the place. There's bodies found here. There's human remains found about 2 miles from where I live, which is not typical in this area at all. But there's a lot of stuff happening, particularly in the country, that is not typical. It's everywhere. And
well, let's talk about guns for a second.
Okay.
Just for a second. I own a lot of guns. I love guns. I really do. My first gun, believe it or not, the type of personality I am, I bought a 44 Magnum, like Dirty Harry. I have never seen anything colder. Those guys and Clint Eastwood were all in a small area, and they both had guns, and they were robbing the place. And Dirty Harry said, I don't think we're going to be able to let you leave. Made me looking around. Let us? Who? What do you mean, we? And he went in his coat jacket and said, Smith, Wesson, and me. I thought that was one of the coldest moves I've ever seen. So anyway, I had a 44 Magnum. I'm getting to this part of the story that here in Georgia, they walk around sometimes like this is the Wild Wild West, okay? Paul, do you remember when I was doing a lot of public speaking and work for the police and on television in Memphis about education, drugs, how I would go around? I was really starting to get a little notoriety there. Well, they gave me a badge. You remember those days?
Yes.
Well, they gave me a badge, a sheriff's badge for Shelby County, and it didn't say special officer. It said staff, okay? And it did have clearly printed on it, not a weapons permit, but I didn't see it or something. Anyway, I had a gun in Memphis, and for some reason, I wanted to start carrying it. So I had a badge and a gun, okay? Totally illegal to have this gun. But I'm just telling you this for a certain reason. Paul Thompson, my entire philosophy, my attitude, my emotions, everything about me changed when I had a pistol on me. It became another Drew. I'd go to the bank and let people in front of me just in case there might be a robbery. If I pulled up next to you, instead of waving, honest to God, I don't know what happened to me. But if I thought you were like looking at me funny, I know you're not looking at me. I was a completely different person. And I'm telling you this for a very serious reason. A lot of people are in jail for the rest of their lives. A lot of people have done something they can't take back because of anger. So I know myself well enough. And this is important. I am working on controlling my own emotions, my own thoughts, because it's me. Common sense. Control yourself. I also know what to do and what not to do. And Drew Brown does not need to carry a gun. Because honest to God, if I did come up with a situation like that, I'm way better off with my mouth, common sense. Because if you pulled the gun on me and I had a gun, I'm effing shooting you. I'm not kidding. So I don't think that that's right. What I'm trying to tell the story is I know myself. So you see the idea of life, a long, healthy, happy life, period. I got 34 more summers. I'm not going to let some anger. And what happens? How about this? When you tell somebody, yeah, I won, I killed the dude. Okay, you have to live with that. Right. If OJ did it, guess what? Guess what? He's in jail every single day, every moment of his life. And every day he gets older, it gets worse.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, right. You know, you can't take a bullet back once it goes out. And people getting shot. And what are they getting shot for? You
Ego.
cut me off in traffic. Maybe he made a mistake.
Ego.
Ego.
Macho.
Nonsense. Being spoiled. People are spoiled.
But what's it being a man stepping on my foot and then you don't say you're sorry, so I kill you because you in front of my girl?
Yeah. That means if the person's a blind person steps on your foot automatically, you kill the blind person. And then what's your justification? Man, you should have had a dog or something. That's
actually the thought would be, oh man, I'm gonna let you go because you blind, but you better not do it again.
That's right. So a certain amount of intelligence that has to come up here. Some folks are just not that bright. You got a lot of power, but not a lot of brains to manage the power. It's a bad combination. It's like a 5-year-old in a Uzi submachine gun. It's
not a good idea.
Yeah, Frigo had great fun pulling the trigger, but not a good idea.
I have two things I'd like to end the show with. And first was, I forgot to say it earlier, but it's about gratitude. And I heard this, and it really stuck to me. It really, really stuck to me. And somebody said, if all you had today was what you were grateful for yesterday, what would you have? I have to tell you, I say thank you to Shorty every single day for everything all the time. And I took a big sigh of relief because I was like, I guess I'd have everything. But there were very, very long moments in my life that I wasn't grateful. So that really scared me. The next thing is I today will tell you the key to world peace. This is crazy. You ready? Be nice.
Be nice.
That's it. No, wait, listen. First of all, nice people don't hurt each other. So we can stop right there. The actual answer is not to think the same way as I do. Even if you think different than I do, can you just at least be nice, be respectful, and go your own way if you really are that upset? I don't care if you're a Klansman, as long as you treat me with kindness, decency. I don't have to party with you. I don't have to party with anybody. So there's the answer to world peace. Mm-hmm. We should sell that one, huh?
Yes, well, you could be an advisor to like beauty pageants. They always ask them, what do you want? World peace. Be nice.
Okay. There was somebody else who was really invested in beauty pageants. I guess the time for the show to be over. See you later, Paul. Love you.
All right. See you later. Everybody, wingmenshow.com, WINGMENSHOW.com. It'll help you.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. Smash the like button. Don't smash the button. Just click it. Thank you very much.
You too. Love you, Paul. Thanks for doing the show.
Thanks for having me on. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button. We'd appreciate it.
100%. We hope you enjoyed our show. We truly thank you for your time. It's our most valuable commodity. So we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. Dr. Paul Thompson, Drew Brown, we both say goodbye. See you guys later.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.